Hi folks, welcome back to the Amazing Education Station. It's the channel that tells you what you need to know and gives you boring video because it's just about information that's going to help you, but it's not any special visual information. So it's just for listening to pretty much. So it's not exactly a podcast, but it's definitely going to be helping you financially, although it's not financial advice, not a financial advisor, with legal and health issues, although also not a lawyer, not legal advice, not medical advice, not a doctor. Then what am I? I'm a master educator, over 25 years of education experience, including 17 years of teaching thousands of students from preschool through college age. And maybe now you could say even post-grad, if you're a post-grad. Well, I haven't taught at that level yet, but with an IQ over 120 on most days, I can help you out, give you wonderful advice. And if you like, thumbs up and subscribe and comment and share the videos, wow, if people followed the advice, we would have a peaceful planet. Okay, wouldn't you like that? So consider that. I suggest you go ahead and watch the other videos. So we need to respect human rights on this planet and avoid trouble. And there are some countries that do have a much better, peaceful and healthy situation. So we need to learn from them. And you can learn through this channel some of those cultures and ideas, as I've lived in several other countries. But it's mostly about the United States. So now this little topic, today's topic, I should say, is how to do the transition. Say you have a rental house. It's a learning process. So real estate, it's a number one way to get above $1 million net worth and to never have to worry about money again. That's right. Although business owners earn more, but strangely, real estate gets more people up to that millionaire status. So how could you earn more, but then that's not really the best way to become a millionaire? Oh, that's a little bit strange. Well, it's because of all the spending business people have to do, or they expect themselves to do. Just high spending individuals. There are many people who work incredible hours, incredibly long hours. They're so miserable, they spend themselves back into bankruptcy with very high incomes, with big houses that they don't rent out, but they live in. And the vacations, expensive automobiles, clothing, restaurants, memberships, clubs, and so on. And unfortunately, medications, legal and illegal. I won't call them all medications, but I think you know what I mean. So real estate, it's not passive income. People call it that, although you could get to that point if you just buy into real estate investment trusts. Again, this is not financial advice, as I'm not a financial advisor, but it's going to help you. Okay, so real estate investment trusts, it's something that your financial advisor can set you up with, and it could be high dividends. So if you're a high income person, it might not be the best because, well, you would be getting the payouts. Basically, it would increase your annual income. And if you already have enough income, you may want to avoid it until you retire. So maybe just other investments could be better. But if you have it in a retirement account that's tax deferred or tax free, then that might benefit you. That could be a good way. You might want to talk with a CPA which your financial advisor could surely recommend. And yeah, they don't know everything. They can't make 100% good decisions. But so real estate, as I said, it's semi-passive. If you have a place that, say you have a long-term renter that you get along well with, and they respect the property and the neighbors and so on, well, then you might have to do nothing more most of the time. You can even get a property manager between 8 and 12% of the monthly rent as a standard amount. And so you have a property manager, you just check in and make sure the manager is acting well, and that the renters have your contact information always, so that they can contact you easily if the property manager falls through on some kind of repair or maintenance. And there you go. So on your way to a less stressful life, perhaps, especially with insurance, make sure you have the correct landlord or property insurance. It's a renter's insurance. It's not your standard house insurance. And if you think you'll never get there, well, you live someplace right now, and I assume that you have a place to live right now. I assume you have some kind of income. You can rent out even where you live, and that increases your income, and put that into savings for a down payment. And then suddenly, next thing you know, well, when I say savings, maybe invest it instead of just a savings account, because well, with the proper timing, although you can't time the market, and right now at 2022 we have a chance that we're going to have a big crash. So I would do savings until you invest the money after a major stock market decline. So maybe save a year or two, and then do sort of regular investments to get ready for a down payment on a property that you can have as a rental, or you can live in it and rent it. You can also just live in a rental yourself, like an apartment, a room, or a house that you rent, so you do no work. You just have the landlord take care of the repairs, and you can also negotiate yard service as part of your rent. If you want to pay a little bit more, just say, well, I'll rent this place. If I add $120 a month, could you take care of the the yard? That would be saving you the effort. This is if you're a busy person and you want less stress, and if you're already getting enough exercise. You might want to do the yard work because it will perhaps give you exercise that you need. As long as you stay away from the gasoline-powered, polluting yard machines. You can get electric, which I recommend for health. Okay, so now, as I said, the topic this time is transitioning from one renter to another. There are many other videos about choosing the right renters and other things. Now, so let's imagine that you already have people renting your property and it's time for them to move on. Whether they were good tenants or not so good, or medium tenants, you want to make it as easy as possible so that they treat your property well, because they're leaving. And point out about that their security deposits are returnable as long as the move-out inspection is good. So you would have a move-out inspection sometime after they move out and get their security deposits back to them, hopefully in a reasonable time frame. You might have just a few days, although you need to verify the timing. And so check with your local regulations, which might be the state that you live in. But so what you do is you can remind the people to please clean the property, the house or apartment or condo as they move out for the next people. So then after which you can return their security deposits, maybe a pet deposit as well. So just remind them of that. And don't be surprised if you need to do some touch-up, maybe painting in the interior or exterior. That's a very normal thing for rentals. So you've got painting and probably something like carpet cleaning or floor maintenance due to scratches or pets or whatnot. And you may want to go with hypoallergenic, not energetic, hypoallergenic steam cleaning service, unless you can just get a steam cleaner yourself. But steam cleaning for the carpet, and because it will kill viruses and bacteria and bugs and everything, and then provide good suction and just do a really good job of cleaning, and then also not trigger allergies, so that the people moving in are going to be happy. Also, you may need to do that and deduct from a pet deposit or the regular deposit if there are stains that the carpet didn't previously have. And you should document that with photo evidence so that the moving out people are satisfied that you're not just deducting from the deposit for no reason. And then also show them their receipts, like by a photo or email, however, so that they're not upset, or that it's not, they don't feel that it's unjustified, or you have no evidence that it's justified in case there's a dispute. In other words, do your documentation. And you may need to hire a professional cleaner if they, for example, didn't clean the appliances very well, and also take photos for the reasoning behind that. Show the places that are dirty and any damage, get estimates, and then charge off of the security deposit for the damages, etc. So anyway, that would be after move out. And if you're having some kind of conflict, you could have the locks changed and have security cameras. It really depends on your relationship and the situation of the tenants. If you're a person that has had lawsuits and conflicts in the past, well, expect more. You may really need a property manager to be like the nice guy or nice gal to handle these issues. That might be the best way to go, unless you don't mind handling the conflicts of life and the arguments and the disputes. If that's your style and you don't mind it, it's up to you. You don't have to follow any of this advice. You can just handle things as you see fit. I'm showing you sort of the smooth, detailed way where everyone is actually quite satisfied. When you offer more than is promised, then you often get more back than you expect, and good things can happen. So, for example, I did a free carpet cleaning. The Stanley steamer, which is a hypoallergenic service, and I didn't charge anybody at all. And what did I get out of that? The person that moved out of the house showed the house for me, found the new tenants, and also did an inspection later on in the year and handled getting the keys to the person. And so now I have a house manager who is also a professional lawyer, who's very helpful. And all it took was just good communication and a free carpet cleaning and no deductions from their security deposits. And so they call it the lucky house. And so that's good, very good. All right, so keep these things in mind. Hope things go well for you. It's a learning process. Many people make mistakes. I've made a mistake currently, the people I have. I didn't check well enough. You really need to do the background checks, including references of past rental owners. You got to get in there and find out how did they treat the property, and were they smokers, any illegal drugs, and so on. Because although the drugs that I heard from the neighbors are legal, so there was a little smoking of a little bit of grass, let's just put it that way. It's legal according to the state, so I couldn't really complain. But federally it's not quite legal. And so, but the thing is, the enforcement and the legislation is very confusing, and so who would handle a dispute is very unclear. Now, I must say, so there was smoking on my non-smoking property. It's not double verified. In other words, just a single report, and so it's uncertain. Although, in a way, there was a second report, but the second report was also unsure. So they didn't know what the smell was. The first person knew what the smell was. So anyway, and also it's unclear whether it was the smells were caused by the guests, like visitors, or the people there. They would both be lease violations in a non-smoking property, but not if you have smoking indoors banned, but outdoors is okay. And that's up to you. It's your choice. And because I made a mistake and wasn't very clear, that's what occurred. So, and why am I pointing this out? Well, a smooth transition means your house doesn't smell bad, doesn't have cigarette butts, it hasn't been burned down or have fire damage, or even nicotine buildup, which occurs when people smoke indoors. So that it's in the walls if the walls are slightly porous, or the ceilings, the floors, the carpets, the furnishings, and appliances, whatever. The nicotine is there in the property, and the smell can be difficult to remove, and it can be a problem. Most people expect non-smoking properties these days. It's a majority. So you'll benefit yourself and the health of everyone if that's what you designate your property as. And be clear, does it include just indoors, or is it indoor and outdoor? So, and then write it into your lease clearly that eviction is possible if these aspects of the lease are broken or violated. So the terms are very clear. And I might point out that the renters, the tenants, and you do this at an application stage. Notify them that they will be financially responsible for the lease, including if it's broken by their visitors, and they must inform their visitors of these provisions of the lease, like, no smoking, no illegal drugs, and no growing and selling and all this. And perhaps you may also need, and I recommend, no renting of the property, as in subleasing or renting rooms. Okay, take care now. Good luck.